my father was against me going into the army. He was a bit of a socialist. I wouldn't say a communist, but he had definite socialist leanings, and he wasn't at all happy about me going into the army, but he couldn't do anything about it because, as I say, I was conscripted. So it had an impact in the sense that I didn't have my father's support, which was made life rather tough for me. Everyone likes to think that their father supports what they do, but in this case that didn't happen. And my mother was also very upset, not at that, not because she had socialist leanings, but simply because she saw that I was running the risk of being killed or wounded, and of course every mother is concerned about that, and particularly so because my great uncle, who I mentioned before, who was killed in the First World War, he was a lieutenant, I was a second lieutenant. He was aged 22 when he was killed, and I was aged 22 in Vietnam. So she saw a lot of parallels there, which she took as a very bad omen, if you like. Yeah, it had an impact on my family.
Well, my father, unlike Andrew, my father supported the fact I had to go, because he'd been in the Second World War. My mother, whose health wasn't real good, although she lived to 96, but at the time she wasn't real good, it really affected her. Similar, that she was worried about me not coming back or being wounded. But where it did really affect me, I had a girlfriend at the time, and she couldn't handle the fact that I was going to Vietnam, and I've been going with her for a couple of years at that stage, and it affected that relationship. It never got back together again, but and I've since married. I've been married to the same lady for a long time, but it did affect, and there were people at my work, because I was working before I was called up in the Victorian government, and who had left opinions, and they were saying you shouldn't go because we shouldn't be in the war and all that kind of stuff. And I said, well, hang on, I'm only going into the army. I'm not going to Vietnam, because at that stage I didn't know. But there was always pressures put on you when I came home on some leave that you did think about from time to time. But it wasn't easy on any family, because during the Vietnam War we lost, Australians I'm talking about, we lost about 520 killed, and just on 3,000, about 2,700 wounded in the 10-year period we were there. But when you consider it, in that period there were just over 50,000, 56,000 or something Australian troops went through Vietnam, right, in that 10-year period. When you look at the Americans, they lost the same amount that we had killed. They lost over 50,000 killed in Vietnam. I don't know what their wounded have been, they're massive. But with all these figures that was coming out in the papers all the time, so and so was killed in Vietnam, and the American forces have lost more in this battle and all that. It wasn't hard. It wasn't easy on the families, I can tell you.